welcome to a quick Moho tutorial, part of my syllabus where I'll be teaching you from start to finish, from beginner level, like absolute beginner level, to advanced level, in short little quick lessons, 5 minutes at most. Yeah. So on this one, we'll be talking about setting up a new project, canvas size, frame rate, and the best settings for animation. So, like when you open your Moho animation, um, it might open with the default animation where there's a default whatever animations they have. So, when you want to start a new project, you can simply press File, click on File, then click on New, and then a new project will form. And then to save it, you can save, and then it will save wherever last. So let's put it on the desktop and say maybe test. Say test and save. So you've got a name, so you can save it in whatever folder. You can delete the opening one. So you have our test, and then we have our work project interface. We talked about it. So when setting up a new project, sometimes you can go into project settings. This could open up as you're opening a new project, and you can set your proportions. The proportions that you can use default. Sometimes I like my verticals. I spoke about that on my other video, or square settings, so you can remove constraints. And then maybe you want a square and have 1080p, and then it's 1080p. If you want pixelization, you can add pixelization there. You can whatever pixelization, maybe you want to work a pixel character and automatically, but I like to do that at the end so that I can see all my artwork, and then at the end I change pixelation if I'm having to make a pixelated character, and then that's okay. And then my window, I myself personally, when you look in your windows, you have your tabs, whichever tabs you need. I like to go into view, and have video safe zone, so I know which areas will not be cut out by the shot or camera, or when I transfer to editing, I am not cut off. And so I like to have my video safe zone, so I know anything in here is in shot and won't be creeping out of shot. And so that is how you set up your canvas. And then frame rate over here, you can work in twos, and whatever your frame rate is there, and this is your timeline. So you don't really need to make any changes here. Everything is, I think, default is the best one you can use for default. And then when you have, let's say we create a character, let's say we want to make a new boss, so new vector layer. We click on the tools that I told you about, click on a circle, and then we can simply color it. We click on it and we can make it red, and we can go into frame 1 and select it, and that's a keyframe. And then we can go 12 frames. Okay, so let's say we want to work in 24 frames, so we can click that, make it 24 frames. We want to work in 24 frames. We want it to loop back there in 24 there. We can click at the end, in between frame, we stick down, goes down. So I'm assuming at this point you know the basics of animation, but all I'm just teaching you is how to use the software, how to use the Moho software, and you know how to animate. So that is already 24 frames. All the other frames are put in there automatically. So maybe we don't want the ball to squash when it's there, we want to stretch, and there, and maybe when it comes up. Onion skins, you can also add onion skins. Click on onion skins, you can choose what type of onion skins do you want: outlines, colored fills, draw behind, where you see it from behind. And then you turn on your onion skin. When, let's say, you want to go from frame 1, frame there, so there it starts there. Maybe you want it to overlap a bit, and then when it squashes down, you want this to come up a bit, not too much. You want it to wait a bit, the squash to wait a bit. And yeah, so when you're editing, you can make your changes like that, and that affects however you want to animate it. And so that is, you've already opened your project, started a new project, canvas size, you've got your frame rate, and then I believe these are the best settings for animation, the defaults there. And then, of course, if you want to add more on an advanced level to have more effects and stuff, there are scripts that we have that we can add. Like maybe you wanted to ease in from there, click select the keyframes, click on ease in, but that is a more advanced level tutorial. And yeah, so that is my lesson on how to open a project, start setting up a new project, canvas size, frame rate, and best settings for animation. The default, you can't go wrong with the default. And yeah, hope to see you in my next lesson, and hope this helps you open the app and not be intimidated. Everything is pretty easy, and I'll be taking you step by step on the next topic. Understanding layers, so vector, bitmap, switch, bone, and group layers will work on that. Drawing and importing characters, we've already drawn a ball, so that will be in the next project, and more little tips and tricks that we can start on. So yeah, catch me in the next video. Thank you.